Alright, another 2 weeks in one here. Just because that's how I feel like doing it kind of recently. Instead of just doing every single week. Just to cut back on the amount of uploads. Just kind of combine them. Why not? Now, as you can see, the first videos here are dumbbell bench press, but I did start with barbell bench. It just did not go that well for the first Monday here, which was March 22nd. My working sets were only 301, 315, and 325 for 4 reps, 2 reps, and then 1 pause rep, which was just a bit subpar for me. So when it was time to put the videos on here for that, I just was like, these are trash, delete. So starting off with dumbbell bench press in terms of what you see, we had 110 for 2 sets of 12, a set of 11, a set of 10, and then another set of 11, which is now increasing the most I've ever done in total reps for 5 sets. So that was a nice little volume PR to start off the week. So with that, I was happy with how the week started. After that, on incline dumbbell bench press, did 90s for 3 sets of 8, 95s for 6 and then 5. And then the cables were taken. I would have liked to done, high to low cable flies next, but instead I just went to incline bench with a barbell and did really light work, 135 12, 140 11, 145 10, 152 sets of 8, which is not that impressive at all. But considering by the time I got to that, I was already 15 sets in with 5 sets of bench press, 5 sets of dumbbell bench, and 5 sets of incline dumbbell. I'm going to be pretty spent on doing any type of compound movement. High to low cable flies were good, sets of 12 to 15. Dumbbell flies was solid, just accessory stuff there. Triceps included supinated cable pushdowns with an easy curl bar and a wide grip, sets of 12 to 15 with that. Close grip bench, 185 9, 195 8, 205, 3 sets of 6. Cable overhead tricep extension with a rope, and then ring dips, 10, 11, 3 sets of 12. I think that's the first time I've done ring dips again since like November, which I like for that added stability to balance when doing them. And as again, it gets to the point when doing regular dips, unless it's with weight, I'm doing sets of 20 to 30, which kind of gets boring. So at least with the ring dips and it being a bit more difficult, I can do less reps and still feel like I'm putting in the work. Tuesday, started off well with dumbbell rows, 110, 112 and a half for 12 reps, then 115 for 10, 115 for 12, 110 for 10, which would, the 115 for 12 would be a PR. I just didn't like how it looked exactly, so didn't fully count it as like an individual post for a PR. Wanted to maybe make it a bit better before that, which happened a week later, which you'll see. So, it was still solid. Going back to doing dumbbell rows like this, kind of seeing how it feels to do them like this. It feels good, just trying to break it up just a little bit. Right now, this is like the first time I've actually been doing dumbbell rows in this position, maybe since like 3 years ago. So again, it was about this time 3 years ago I went to the other way of doing dumbbell rows. So it is interesting to break it up and go back to the other way, the more traditional way that you see. When it comes to doing them this way, again, I think the hardest part is not twisting as much. I think maybe it's a bit easier to get a better range of motion and pull it more past the torso. But in terms of twisting, it's more difficult not to twist compared to the other way. Just the way the one leg is out, the other to support yourself, and the other is on the bench. Again, I think there's pros and cons to it, but just trying to break it up a bit and see what happens. Um, it's a, when it comes to dumbbell rows for me, it's trying to find that balance of good range of motion and not twisting too much. And also still using heavy enough weight where I feel good about myself. So, it's trying to find that balance between those three things. After the dumbbell rows, did pull-ups, just with some weight added on to me, not too much. Trying to get back into that with weighted pull-ups, since I was using the fat bar here and there and stuff. So anyways, this time pull-ups was just 10 pounds for 12, 15, 3 sets of 10, 5 pounds only for 10. Whatever. Actually did some barbell rows, nice and light and controlled. 135, 2 sets of 10, 145, 10, then 155 and 165 for 8. Dual pulley lat pull down sitting down for 5 good sets. Dumbbell shrug seated for 5 sets. Supinated cable rows, sets of 10 to 15 with that. Biceps included dumbbell spider curls, barbell curls, cable hammer curls, pronated dumbbell curls. Wednesday was just a simple ab day. That was actually a pretty good ab day, but simple ab day basically. Then starting with that Thursday was some bench. 232 for 5 sets of 12, which was a nice little volume PR. Again, with bench, I've been kind of just going heavy-ish on Mondays. And then Thursday, just been doing more volume, which is kind of the opposite of how I've been doing it for a while. Don't really know if it's working. Got to give it more time and be patient. But just trying to switch some things around to break it up. And again, it's got to be patient and see how things feel. It's weird doing like that type of volume on a Thursday though. After that, barbell overhead press, I did seated 135 8, 145 6, 155 5, 165 3 sets of 3. Shoulder accessories and stuff were all good. Then Friday, I just did back. When I did back, it was at a gym that required a mask. I haven't really gone there too often since they've reopened, but it did feel really good to use a hammer strength row. Like, that was way more exciting than it should have been. Just because I think I've only used a hammer strength row once in the past year at a retro over the summer, maybe. I would have to go through my notes. I think I did some type of hammer strength row back then. I'd have to, again, look. But still, it felt nice to do that again. Then Saturday was some shoulders and biceps, which was good. Sunday was some abs, and that was the first week. Then the second week, you saw some benching. Did 301, 315, and 330 for 5-3, and then 1 pause rep, which was good. So much better than the previous week on benching. Dumbbell bench press, nice volume PR of 112.5 on each side for 5 sets of 10. So bringing in those magnets to give a little bit more weight on those steel 110s, since they won't work with any rubber dumbbells. Incline dumbbell bench press, decided to start with 95s instead of 90s. 2 sets of 8, 1 set of 7. Really wish I could have squeezed out an 8th rep on that, but oh well, it's still not too bad. Then hundreds, 2 sets of 5, which again would have been nice to get maybe 6, but I'm not gonna complain too much, especially because at least my flat benching with the barbell and dumbbells were pretty good that day for me at this time. High to low cable flies, sets of 12 to 15. Hammer strength chest press. I only did 90 on each side for 3 sets of 8. Definitely just did not have the seat in a good spot. The first 2 sets, I believe, it was probably, I think, too low. And then I had it was too high. It was too high, and then I made it lower for the last one, and then it was a lot more smooth. Again, I'm not a big hammer strength chest press kind of person. Just because there's enough variations you can do with dumbbells and barbells. Well, I don't feel like I need to really use the hammer strength stuff that much. Although my favorite type of decline press is the hammer strength decline press. That's the most fun to me. But doing any type of like flat press or incline press with a hammer strength equipment, I'd rather do it with a free weight. So that's me. The 30th, let's see, we have back day. So dumbbell rows, 110 for 12, 115 for 2 sets of 12, and I think they looked better than the week before, so they earned a individual video for that. Then on the third set with the 115s, I only did 10, just so I wouldn't get too sloppy, and you can tell the difference those last 2 reps make, in my opinion. Then went back down to 110, just for an easy set of 10. Pull-ups with 20 pounds, 3 sets of 10, then 15 and 10 for a set of 10 each. So, not too bad. 20 pounds. Again, it wouldn't be difficult if it was the first exercise I was doing. But doing dumbbell rows and then going to this, it makes a difference on how fatigued I am. Then barbell T-bar rows, 100 pounds, 2 sets of 15, 120 and 130 for 12, 140 for 10. This is just counting the amount of weight on the bar, not including the barbell itself. I don't really like to include the barbell in terms of the weight I'm doing when doing T-bar rows, because like how much of that weight are you actually moving, since like half of it's on the ground. It's funny how I'm very specific when it comes to like the weight I'm benching. Like I'll put on half-pound plates and be like, I'm doing 231 or 331, 351, 336. But then it comes to this, I'm like, I'm just not going to count the bar. Again, just that's how I do things. Do a pulley lat pull downs. Pronated cable rows was interesting. Instead of doing cable rows with a neutral grip, had it with an easy curl bar. Pronated grip, so overhand on the outside. Those felt good. Just a variation I don't really do often, if at all. Dumbbell shrugs. Alternating dumbbell curl seated, 50s, 5 sets of 10, 15 for 20 as a drop set. One arm cross body hammer curls, 35, 3 sets of 10, 42 sets of 8, 20 for 10 for a drop set. Cable curls were good, and then one arm reverse preacher curl machine to finish off. Then we had abs, which was a good ab workout on Wednesday. So my knee right now, it's getting better. It just needs some time to heal, actually, so no big deal. It will be fine soon enough. Really, it's just one of those things where something is a bit strained in there, so I was just told to rest it and not do anything that makes it uncomfortable, and we'll be good to go in the future. So, in the meantime, I'll just have to double up on abs, it seems. Thursday, bench was okay. I wanted to do 235 for 5 sets of 12, and after the second set, I could only get 10 on the third. So by that point, just went up and did 240 and 250 for 10. So not bad work. Those 5 sets of 10 to 12 with 235 to 250. Nothing to be ashamed of. Bit underwhelming, but after that, dumbbell overhead press seated was pretty lame. Just because the bench I was using for that was not the most comfortable. Accessories included dumbbell vertical raises seated, incline, reverse dumbbell flies, alternating dumbbell lateral raises seated, dumbbell flies, and then triceps with cable pushdowns with a rope, supinated dumbbell skull crushers, supinated cable pushdowns, and reverse grip, close grip bench press. Say that 5 times fast. But that was still solid work. It's just, again, overhead press was definitely the worst of that. Now, moving on to Friday, was a nice back and bicep day. With that, nice little PR with pull-ups, doing 66 pounds for 10. Now, I think I've done, 72 and a half or 70 for 10 on pull-ups, but that's with like a more angled bar. This is with your traditional like straight bar. So, you know, being really specific here on like the handle, but still 66 for 10, then 8, then 6 isn't too bad. 71 for 2 sets of 5. Used a 65-pound dumbbell and a 1-pound plate to get to that 66. And then for the 71, throwing like a 5 under. But that was good. Again, this is the difference. Pull-ups can be with weight if it's the first exercise compared to if it's just the second. If it's the first exercise, you know, doing it with 60 pounds, 50 pounds, no problem. Now, if it's the second exercise, it's like I gotta go down to like maybe 10, 20 pounds or even just throw a 5 on me. So it's funny the difference that can make. The rest of the workout was good with cable rows, dumbbell curls seated, concentration hammer curls, dual pulley lat pull downs, supinated incline batwing rows, which I got a good squeeze on the lats for that, and some other stuff. Going to Saturday, we had some bench where I did 315 and 325 for easy pause reps, 240, 3 sets of 12 for a new volume PR, and then 240 for 10. Then did some abs afterwards, and then today I'm just taking a rest day, just because I've pretty much done everything I can do. It was nice to do bench on a typical commercial gym bench, because I haven't really done that since November. With the gyms I've been going to, they don't really have your normal bench like this, if you catch my drift. One of the gyms does, but the pad is way too narrow, where I can't even get my shoulder blades on it. So that's why I really wanted to use a bench like this today, just to play around with it and see how it felt. The 315 and the 325 pause reps felt really easy, so that gave me some confidence on that. But I didn't want to push it too much. I just wanted to go for smooth there. And then I figured let's just try to get some reps in again with the 240, seeing if I could get good 3 sets of 12 with that. And yeah, it's funny how I couldn't do the 235 for the 3 sets of 12 on Thursday, but then on Saturday I could add another 5 pounds and get it. And I think it's just because the bench here, the pad's a bit wider, so I was able to be a little bit more comfortable on it. Even though it's closer to the ground, so I have to worry about my butt wiggling. Still, I think I'd take the wider pad in that instance than being slightly higher. And that's the video.